You ever walk into a restaurant and the first thing you think about is what chair are you going to sit in that's not going to cause more back pain? While other people are worrying about what they're going to order, the drinks that they're going to drink, you are wondering how long your back's going to be able to last before you can get home and actually lay down. I used to do the exact same thing, but what I didn't know back then when I was battling 10 plus years of chronic low back pain, that it had less to do with the chair that I was sitting in and more to do with what was going on inside of my central nervous system. So it wasn't my spine, it wasn't the fact that I had ruptured discs or degenerative discs, it was just a pattern that my nervous system had learned. Today, I'm gonna give you my MELT framework. This is the exact same process I've taken Alia and Kyle through to be able to do the things they wanna do, sit in restaurants, and even sit for hours on end without chronic pain. Now, in order for what you're about to learn to work, you have to understand a very key thing. Why do we experience pain consistently when we are sitting? Now, the old way of thinking would be to just blame it on the damage you have in your spine. You got an MRI, they say your spine is old and wrinkly, therefore it's why you have pain. And it's just not the case. When you've been dealing with chronic back pain for a very long time, your central nervous system and body become very hyper aware of the symptoms and the environments that you experience these symptoms in. It's almost like it predicts the pain before it even happens. So the moment you walk into that restaurant, your brain is like,
oh no, danger, we have to sit. These are stools, these are booths. We have to protect, we have to guard, we have to stiffen. Make sure they have good posture or our disc is gonna blow out the back of their spine.
And that, again, is just not the case. But that's what your body and brain have learned due to the evidence that it's seen over the years in the past. So how do we begin to create safety? Well, we use what I call my MELT framework. And this is what helped my client Rob go from only being able to sit for 30 minutes in agonizing pain to be able to travel 8 hours in a car pain-free. M stands for MELT into the chair. The first step in creating safety in your body and brain is showing the body and brain that sitting is actually a safe thing. Now, to do this, what you're gonna do is sit into whatever chair that you have chosen for the day, and I really want you to tune into your breath and body. Where is your tension? Are you holding your abs? Are you holding your shoulders up? Are you rigid? Is your low back tight? Are you tightening your low back? Are you trying to keep good or perfect posture? If you are, what I want you to do is take a deep inhale and then exhale. As you exhale, I want you to melt into that chair. Fully round your low back, slouch, turn your shoulders over, have terrible posture. I want you to feel the support of the chair and not you trying to give yourself the support you think you need. Now, doing this is not a Tylenol for a headache type of thing. What you're doing is saying, hey, I can relax in this environment. I'm safe. I can let go. I can let my muscles do whatever they need to do to keep me balanced and safe and have a decent posture without overcorrecting or overbracing. Now, E stands for exhale with intention. What I mean by that is our central nervous system can be easily regulated by our breath. So when we inhale, and we hold for a second and then we exhale out, that is signaling to our brain to turn down that fight or flight response. So when I say exhale with intention, what I want you to do is sit in that chair and I want you to breathe out slowly, but not just do it to do it. I want you to think about other areas of your body, the tension that you might be holding, and really tuning in into feeling these areas soften. So for you, this might be the shoulders. You might find yourself being able to relax your shoulders. Then maybe it's your upper back or mid back, or maybe it's your legs, your glutes, your low back, your abs. With every exhale, with a slow exhale, you're gonna allow one part of the body, somewhere that you have found, to soften or to make sure there's no holding of tension. Now, don't worry about looking weird or seeming that people are gonna notice what you're doing. No, you can really do this very nonchalant. You're sitting there, you take a drink of water, you exhale, and you just really tune into your body and allowing whatever you're focusing on to be fully relaxed. Simply taking your mind off of your low back hurting and putting it on, oh wow, my quads feel relaxed, my feet feel relaxed, my hamstrings feel relaxed. And focusing on every muscle group as you exhale is a great step in the right direction. Now, L stands for letting go of perfect posture. I want you to forget everything you've ever been taught by the medical model, the PT, the chiro, the internet, whatever you have found around posture and ergonomics and holding yourself in the right neutral position that is going to magically keep you out of pain. It's a bold-faced lie. Your body is designed to operate without you intervening constantly trying to keep it safe. It knows what to do. God created your body to do the simple things like what is good and what is bad when it comes to sitting posture and relaxation. Your default needs to be relaxed. Let the chair support you. If you have an office chair like this at your desk, you can apply the same rule whenever you are out and about or sitting in a chair. Now, in the restaurant space, if we are sitting in a chair, I want you to fully try to relax into that chair and not try to hold up a good or perfect posture. Let go of the idea that there is a key posture that's gonna keep me out of pain. It's a lie, crap, it's gonna keep you in pain. Lastly, T stands for track your sensations. This is a very, very important tool that I teach a lot of my students who are trying to unlearn their chronic pain. And to do this, what you do is you have to tune into your sensations, into the pain, the sensitivity, where it's at, how it feels, but we're not doing it in hopes of changing it. When you're drinking alcohol at a restaurant because you're in pain, you're hoping that the alcohol is gonna take away the pain, you kind of shift from, is the alcohol working? Do I feel less pain? Do I feel more relaxed? And then you get to a point if you've had enough drinks where you're not even thinking about your back anymore because now you are intoxicated. So that's not what we want to be doing. Instead, I want you to be sober-minded and tuning into the sensations that you're experiencing. Now, what typically you would do is try to run from that sensation, protect, guard, stiffen. Oh no, I can't twist, I can't reach across the table. Now, I want you to relax into the chair that you're doing. You're following this method. And when you're tuning in, I want you to almost as if you're observing the symptoms that you're having without any kind of strategy or idea or intention of making it go away, okay? This is called somatic tracking. And to somatic track your sensations, essentially you're kind of looking at your sensations or the pain that you're experiencing, almost like from an out-of-body experience, where when you're in body, you're suffering, oh no, it hurts, But if you were just an onlooker, you saw someone sitting there and you could see their pain, what would you do? You'd probably look at it, you'd say,
oh, that's interesting. Why is it so red right there? Why does it seem like it's like throbbing? Why does it seem like it's like going down the leg a little bit?
Like you'd be observing it, but you physically can't go over to that person and change it for them, right? You're just looking at it. Now, that's not a realistic situation, but this is how I want you to tune into your sensations. So instead of you tuning in and trying to change and adjust and fix and correct, I want you to just let go. Be outcome independent with the sensation that you are feeling. Now, key thing here is make sure you try to leave out any really heavy negative words like sharpshooting or terrible or bad. Think of more like pressure or tingling, maybe throbbing or moving or floating or hot or cold. But essentially, you're just trying to describe the sensation without changing it, right? We're just observing it. We're just checking out, see how it feels, and we're gonna let it go. Now, somatic tracking is a powerful tool, and this short video probably isn't enough to really give you everything you need. But ideally, what you're doing is you're training the brain to stop responding to the sensation that you have in a negative, fearful, protective way. And instead, rebuild confidence, gain a better understanding of the sensation, and actually don't give it so much credit. Don't give it so much attention so it's not so bad. Now, when you're tuning into your sensations, I don't want you to obsess. I don't want you to just sit there the whole time and just be thinking or trying not to think about your pain. You're simply just trying to change how your body and brain are responding. The more negative you are, the more afraid you are, the more concerned you are, the more your symptoms will increase. The more disconnected you are, the softer your response, the more control over your body and breath you have, the symptoms will lessen. This is something that both works in the moment for some people, but also is a tool that you're going to use day in and day out to calm that pain system down and overcome chronic pain for good. I know sitting at restaurants, eating your favorite food around your favorite friends while you are navigating a constant chronic pain in your low back is one of the worst things to actually go through, but it's a very common thing that almost 90% of all of my students have dealt with at some time. On the bright side, it is one of the easiest things to overcome and build up tolerance to over time if given the right approach. If the stretches, the injections, the PT exercises that you're doing, or maybe even the surgery that you've had hasn't fixed that problem, you're still fearful, you're still guarded, you're still very stiff and tight and very, very sensitive when sitting in chairs at restaurants or at the home, and you're looking for a different approach to your chronic pain, you can grab a time for you and I to chat through my free pain relief strategy demo. That call will be you and I talking about your situation, where you're at, what you're doing, and what you actually need to see lasting relief, like Alia or Rob or Doug or Kyle, the people that you've seen here today. I don't know if I can help you just by making this video for you, but if you are actually interested in overcoming this for good and not having to keep looking up back pain relief videos on YouTube, grab a time for us to chat. Let's see where you're at and whether or not I can help. Go to fitnessforbackpain.com/apply or just go to the link below this video. Thanks for watching. God bless, and I'll see you on the next episode.